Today, we are going to be talking with Salma Jafri, who is a video content strategist and an international speaker at Salma Jafri Media. Stay tuned. It's the Business of Video podcast.
You're listening to the Business of Video podcast, where the world's top YouTubers and marketers talk about what's working with online video. This podcast is recorded live on Facebook every week, and you can join us when you visit businessofvideopodcast.com. Now your host, Owen Video.
Welcome back to the Business of Video podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest tactics on video marketing to grow your brand. I'm Nick Nimmin. You can join Owen Video and myself live every week on Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. And since Owen is out today, we actually have Jason Rodriguez with us from the YouTube channel Doing It with Jason, filling in the co-host seat today. So I'd like to welcome Jason to the show. Thanks for joining us and helping us keep this whole thing together while Owen is away. Jason, thank you.
What is up, Nick? And hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
And I'm not seeing Jason. There he is. Okay.
I am here. I am here in the flesh. Yeah, I'm just excited Owen's missing today because that means I get to come in and say hello. So where is Owen, Nick?
Yeah, right now Owen is at ClamorCon, and basically ClamorCon is a social media influencer. It's like an invite-only conference for social media influencers, and Owen is actually taking the stage there to add another speaking gig to a notch on his bedpost, so to speak. So that's what Owen's doing. He is at ClamorCon today, and he's actually going to be joining us live from ClamorCon today, and I'm not 100% sure if he's ready to fly or not, though, but if he is... And if he is ready to roll, then we would like to go ahead and bring Owen in right now, if that's even possible. But I'm not for sure. There he is, Owen Video.
Look at that guy with shades on.
To be with you today, live from ClamorCon, where the security has just escorted me out of the building. But I'll tell you, part of the fun of being at these conferences is you got to have, hey, Phil, would you help me out? You guys look behind me. I've got Andrew Can and the Tube Buddy team right behind me. We're about to go in. Would you mind grabbing that for me so that we could go in? We're going to go inside the ClamorCon right now, guys. This is an event with the top YouTubers in the country. And we've got, they're eating breakfast over here. We've got a display booth over here. Really an eclectic group of people, guys. Check out what we've got going on.
Nice. Wow. So, Owen, you are going to be speaking there as well, right? You're going to be standing up on that stage. What is your conversation going to be about?
Well, we're going to be talking today about how to generate recurring revenue with email marketing and membership groups. And we're going to be talking to a group of YouTubers here that have 500,000, 1 million, 2 million subscribers. You know, it's an interesting thing, Nick. In the YouTube community, there's a lot of money to be made on AdSense and sponsorships, but that requires that the creators are constantly working their fingers to the bone. And really, what's the difference between that and working at a factory, right? You've got to figure out a way to make money in a recurring passive form. And that's what we're going to show them. That's what Owen Video is good at. And that's what we're going to be sharing with these YouTubers today.
Fantastic, man. Very, very cool. So anything that you want to add? You have Evan Carmichael creeping up on you from the back here.
Oh,
What is going on, Evan? Welcome to the Business of Video podcast. How are you?
Love it here, live from ClamorCon with the man who's looking tan too, dude.
The tan, well, it's hard. We're in Palm Springs. It's hard not to be tan. You're out here. Did you have breakfast? They've got a big spread across the way. Did you eat? Are you feeling ready to go?
I was the first one here. I'm on East Coast time, so
I've been up since 5. Yeah, exactly. Man, it's so great to see you.
What's the theme?
Well, this is the Business of Video podcast, and we're live on Facebook right now. We're just live from ClamorCon. You know, we're looking.
What are you talking about?
Well,
we're talking about spray tans.
A female YouTuber talking about her secrets for success on YouTube.
Okay.
You've got how many subscribers now?
1.3 million.
What would you say is the number one, thing that has helped you to get to where you are today?
Consistency.
Yeah?
Yeah. I look back, and 4 years ago, I had 7,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
4 years ago. Yeah, 7,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And now 1.3 million.
1.3.
2 to 3 videos every day.
Now, where you do a lot of Donald Trump's top tips or so-and-so's top tips and these types of things.
Yeah.
Where do you find the footage for that? And do you have a team that helps you?
Yeah, I've got 8 people on my YouTube.
Wow,
Yeah,
8 people.
One
Nice.
of the most frustrating. I see people who have channels bigger than mine,
Yeah.
like 3 million, 5 million subscribers, and they're still a solo shop because they can't afford. Like, how do you not?
That's
How
fascinating.
can you not afford to get a team?
That's
like,
fascinating.
They're not building a business around their channel.
Yes.
Where for me, it's always been entrepreneurship first.
Yeah.
YouTube's just a way to get the message out.
That's fantastic, guys. I hope that we'll have to recut that into our blurb for the week, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about monetization.
You're up first,
outside of-
right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got my seat already. I got my seat already in the room. I got my laptop plugged in and like, Owen video, ready for the content.
That is amazing, and you do a great job.
You're gonna do the Owen video.
I actually brought my rock guitar,
Okay,
so
okay.
my plan is to jam out up there.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
even
okay,
have
okay.
a PowerPoint. I'm just
Okay,
gonna go have
I
fun
like.
with
Okay,
it.
good.
You do a great job of responding to all the comments you get on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that something that you invented, or did someone teach you that?
I think everybody should get a response on every platform.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it always has to be you, but it's just customer service. Like if you have a business and somebody calls your business, you answer the phone or you call them back. Or
Yeah.
they email your company, you email back.
Yeah.
Right? It's just customer service. Where a lot of creators, at the beginning, you're always answering all your comments at the beginning, but then
Right.
it gets too busy.
Right.
And so they think, okay, I'm only going to spend half an hour a day doing comments because I have to create. That's when you build a team. You get a team.
Right.
So in my comments, my team, when they respond as their name. So it's like it says Luca, you know who it is.
Right.
And then they save the comments that I need to see. Somebody just says, hey, great video. I don't need to see that.
Right.
That's great, but I don't need to see that.
Right.
Somebody says, hey, can you make a Elton John top 10?
Yeah.
I don't need to see that either. Like my team will take care of the research on it.
And then they'll put a thing in place that says,
Yeah,
hey,
so I
this is what
don't
you should
see
do.
that. But if somebody says, hey, Evan, you suck because of this, I want to see that. Like, I want the feedback. Let me know.
Do you really? See, that's the stuff I don't want to see. Someone say, oh, you should do a video. That was really bad, Owen. You should do a video. That's the stuff that just kind of like, I'll trip over that for the whole day.
That's entrepreneurship, though. Entrepreneurship is just embracing.
Wow.
It's embracing the suck daily. I love it. Like, tell me why I suck. I want it. That's how you get better.
Wow. That's a merch idea right there, guys. # embrace the suck. Hey, I know you got things to do, and I don't want to keep you all day. You talked about building a business.
Yeah.
What's the number one thing you would recommend for creators out there to make their channel more like a business?
So if I was a creator who didn't understand business, I would look at how do I educate myself and start thinking of myself as a CEO, not just a creator.
Yeah.
It's not a specific skill, it's just a mindset.
Yeah.
I'm a CEO, I'm
Yeah.
a business owner, I'm
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm not just a creator.
Yeah.
I'm both. Like, you're still a creator, but you are a CEO, you're an entrepreneur, you have a game-changing mission you're trying to accomplish.
That's huge.
If you have that mindset going in, then you'll figure out all the tactics.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Guys, like bomb, Evan Carmichael, right here live from ClamorCon. Nick, we got to go. We got eggs, we got bacon, we got tons of stuff we got to do. Great to see you guys here. We'll check you later on the Business of Video podcast.
Thanks for stopping in, guys. We appreciate you stopping by and dropping that. That was an awesome impromptu thing. So yeah, thank you so much for coming in. And I will see you, Owen, when you get back from the conference. You guys have an awesome time. Evan, thanks for swinging in, man. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Very
Wow,
cool.
that was completely unexpected and totally awesome. Woo! All right. So our guest today is Salma Jafri, who is a YouTube certified video content strategist and an international speaker. She's the founder of the #Be the Media Mastermind, which is a video training academy for entrepreneurs. She is a channel partner and a contributor at entrepreneur.com, and she hosts a weekly video show on YouTube called Be the Media. Salma, nice to have you on here, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, and it's awesome to be here. And thank you so much, Nick and Jason, for having me. And we're missing Owen, but, virtually high five.
What about that intro, though? Like Owen at the conference, pulling Evan on. Like, that was just so impromptu and so unexpected. It was so exciting. I didn't even know how to react. It was so much fun.
So Owen, basically, roll with it. Whatever's going on, just bring your A game. I love that.
Yeah, and it worked out well. One thing that I really liked about that, like a really good takeaway, in my opinion, and I'm sure you agree with this as well, is Evan's thought on, hey, look at your channel, look at your position, not so much as a content creator, look at that too, but the overarching idea is to look at yourself as a CEO if you really want to turn your channel and all of your online video efforts into a business. Do you agree?
Oh, like 200%. And the biggest reason, and I think this is something that I've learned over the past maybe a year, maybe 8 months or so, is that when you feel, all of those things that happen, oh, life interferes and you're like, I don't have time right now, or this is happening, I don't know if I can pay attention to my channel, I don't know if I can make videos. And that's the time when you need to separate yourself as you as an individual from your channel as your brand. Okay, what message is the brand giving out? What is the brand saying? What's the brand's voice? What are people looking to the brand for? So there's you, yes. And while you're a personal brand, there's obviously a lot of overlap going in there. But I've had to have that mindset shift almost. It's like, yeah, Salma doesn't feel like doing it, but the brand needs to step up and do what it promises. So I think that's a great, seg into what Evan was saying as well, that, what does your audience expect from the brand? And that's really the basis of how you build trust, right? How you build a like, trust factor, because trust is built on consistency. It's built on your audience being familiar with who you are, what you do, when you're on, what you bring to the table every single time. So totally agree with that.
Nice. Now, in terms of your expertise, Salma, and what it is that you do specifically, can you give us a little bit of insight in terms of like your journey, how you got to where you are, what it is that you specifically help people with?
So it's really funny. I kind of always wanted to be on stage. I had the bug. I was like, yeah, you know what? But I was like, what am I going to say? I don't know what I want to say on stage. So it took about 10 years to get here. So 10 years success. But
that overnight thing, that's the overnight part that everybody talks about, right?
It happened overnight in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because my daughter is 10, and that's exactly the time that I left 9 to 5, was like, I'm going to do this online entrepreneurship thing. And that was when content marketing was not even, if you look at Google Trends, it was barely a blip on the radar. Like, people weren't even talking about it that much, right? So I started with content marketing, started with freelance content marketing and offering services and consulting and stuff. Moved into video in 2016, or rather niched into video. So video content marketing. And the big reason why I did that was because I'm trying to build my personal brand. And I'm like, okay, if I'm churning out the same one blog post a week that tens of millions of other people are as well, what can I do to differentiate myself? And the clear answer was, okay, get on video right away. So it's going to be more visible. It's going to have more impact. I need to put in more work up front, but the results are going to be more long-term, more evergreen. They're going to be more impactful. And so it just made business sense to me to niche down into video content marketing and get started with that. So that's really how the journey unfolded.
Fantastic. And with that, with all of the knowledge that you've gained from going through that process and seeing how it's impacted your personal business, that's the same stuff that you share with your students, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, see, the thing is that my flagship program is a group mastermind. It's called Be the Media Mastermind. And the whole philosophy behind Be the Media is that you don't need a big channel to pick you up. You don't need to be on TV. You don't need to be interviewed by a big publication. Obviously, all of those things can and should happen eventually. And they're great when they do. It gives you extra exposure. But you don't need that to build your brand and to amplify your brand, because you can be the media yourself. You have everything it takes to start a show, to produce a show, to write your scripts, to edit your shows, to promote your show, to build your community, to build your audience. And I'm doing it. Right? This channel partnership with Entrepreneur only happened a few months after I had started my show. And it happened because a big magazine was like, hey, we want to get people who are creating regular videos. So it was actually a direct result of me already building my brand on video. So I really think that the Be the Media philosophy is that don't wait to get noticed. Don't wait for somebody to say, hey, you're amazing, we'd like to interview you on our podcast, like Owen was nice enough to say, and you guys are nice enough to have me here. But don't wait for this moment. Start building your brand and acknowledging your power, and start owning that. If you have something to share, get out there and start sharing it.
Now, for the people that are listening to this on iTunes, or the people that are watching this right now on Facebook, for people that are wanting to actually start that process, what do you recommend in terms of like the starting point? Like, hey, I want to get on video, I want to start doing all this stuff. What do you recommend that they do in order to actually get started in the process of putting all this stuff together? Because as there's a learning curve that comes with all of this stuff, so that intimidates a ton of people. So what are your typical starting objectives that you have for people?
Well, I like to group people into two groups based on what their challenge is when they're just starting. So the first group is one that's just scared of video. They're like people who are like, I don't want my face on video. I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. It's just weird. Like, I don't know how to start, right? So that's their main challenge. The second group are people who are like, sure, I mean, I can try video, but what do I say? Like, how do I build a show? Okay, I can come on video once. I'll talk about my business, but then what? What happens then? I don't have like, how do I carry this on, right? So my advice to the first group is just drop everything related to strategy. Like, don't even think about what you're going to say. Just start with practicing. Because what I like to say is that the way that we look on video is not how we look when we see ourselves in the mirror. It is not how we hear ourselves when we talk. Because when we're looking in the mirror, we see a reverse image of ourselves, and our faces are not symmetrical, right? Our voice is you can hear your voice from the outside, but also from the inside. So our voice is also different. When you hear yourself on camera for the first time, you're like, is that how I really sound? That's so weird. When you look at yourself on camera, you can see all these little imperfections and defects in your face that you just didn't see before, or were, managed to cover up before. So if that's your fear, like getting on camera, then the only real solution is to practice, because you have to get used to how you look and sound on camera, which is totally different from how you look and sound in real life or in the mirror, right? The second challenge for people who are like, okay, we don't know what to say, that is where I come in with my video content plan. Okay. And I'm like, all right, guys, we're going to build like a 3-month strategy for you. What do you want to talk about? And we start, typically the easiest way to start is with an FAQ, right? Start talking to people, start going in other people's Facebook groups, other people's conversations, where all the stuff that you want to talk about as well. So for example, I would go into video marketing groups and I'd be like, what are the questions people are asking? Can I answer some of them? If I feel I can, I'm going to answer that question. If I get like 10 likes on that, I'll be like, I might have something there. Maybe you could make a video about that, because people are asking. I have an answer. Can this lend itself to a video topic? And so I think the way to start with getting ideas is to build up a database of frequently asked questions. And that is really the easiest way that I would say to start.
Yeah, that's a fantastic start, because that video idea side of things, people really struggle with that. So that's a fantastic way to get started. Just look around in terms of, like, hey, I'm moving into this particular niche. So because of that, or this particular set of things are around my business or whatever, so I'm going to go into groups that are related to that and start answering the specific questions that people have. That is a fantastic way to start. So for the people that you work with, Salma, when you start getting the gear questions, because everybody gets the questions, okay, well, do I have to go out and spend, $10,000 on a camera? Do I have to get all of this big budget stuff? Do I need to, like, what is it that I need in order to get all of this stuff, rocking and rolling for me in terms of production quality and all of that stuff? Like, what kind of answers do you give people when they throw those kind of questions at you in terms of
I'm like,
what
shut up
specifically that they need?
Just shut up. No, I mean, aside from being rude, no, it's just really, I'd be very honest with them. Like, no, you don't need that. No, you don't need that. But I will say one thing. If you can get a decent mic, if you can start with an investment of $20 and get a decent mic, then that would be probably number one on my list of recommendations to start with. If you've got a smartphone, go with that. So that's really why I made the video that I did on how to shoot and edit video on your phone. So shoot and edit, do both the things, right? And so I didn't want that to be shot on a DSLR or any other camera, and then I'm just talking the talk. So I decided to scrap my big camera and actually shoot that video on an LG phone And I'm like, look, here's you can take this phone, you can get this good quality. When you're ready to invest another 20, buy this, buy a tripod. When you're ready to invest another 20, buy a mic. When you're ready to invest another couple of hundred, maybe buy some softbox lights. So start investing as you get that practice and as you can build up and invest into the video business. But just get started. I started with that video. I started with nothing. I was in front of a window, so it's natural light, the phone's video as well as the phone's microphone. And I just wanted to show people that it really does not matter as long as it's not shaky. So try not to hold the camera in your hand, because that turns people off really fast if your video is shaking and they can't focus on your eyes at all. So I would just say, just put the phone down. Like I literally put it on a windowsill. I mean, can't get more basic than that, right?
Right.
I put it down on a windowsill. I'm like, here you go. This is your video. The content is what matters. Be energetic, use your gestures, don't use jazz hands. But yeah, I mean, some people do go overboard a little bit with the gestures and they're like, what do we do with our hands? And I'm usually like, okay, try and have your hands correspond to what your words are. So if I'm like, go for it, or you can do it, or hey, this is big, or whatever. So try and match your gestures to that. So really, that's what I would say.
I totally agree with you about the cell phone. Using that as your camera is great. I have a nice DSLR. It takes so much time for me to set it up, figure it out. I still haven't learned that yet. And using a cell phone, just get it going. And yeah, you show some proof of what you're doing, get used to it. But if you guys are just joining us in the chat, just let us know if you have any questions for Salma. Just leave them here. We will definitely bring it up. And like to say hi to a few people. Diana Wilson, Mighty Ituma, I think if I'm saying that right. I'm not sure, Nick. I'm really bad at these. And I know Heidi's out there, and You Do It is out there. Rigor, if that's how you say your name. I just like You Do It, so we'll just keep it at that. But yeah, good stuff, guys.
Now, Salma, what are some major things that people need to keep in mind when they are trying to build their brand using online video? What are some things that are critical when it comes to building their brand with online video from how you see things?
So when you're building your brand, it's really different from when you're doing videos for fun, or when you're just documenting your travels or whatever, right? So when I think of brand building, I'm thinking of the end result. So I'm thinking, what do I want to gain, not just from this video, but from my entire channel? Somebody comes to my channel, what do I want them to feel, think, do? And you can dissect that down with each video as well. So here are a couple of things that I go through. So if I'm thinking, I want to get more speaking gigs, for example, I want to show people how I am on video, how I can be on stage, what can I talk about, what are the things that I'm really passionate about, then can I share this video with, let's say, conference organizers or people who are putting together events? What would they want to see? So I have a goal in mind, and that video is created with that goal. Let's say my goal is to sell microphones or to sell a piece of gear or equipment, right? So I'm going to make a video talking about audio quality, or I'm going to make a video on a general YouTube setup, right? So I would really say that when you're building your brand, you really need to know what success means to you. What does it look like? What does success dress up like, right? Is it going to dress up as sales, affiliate sales for products? Is it going to dress up as speaking gigs for you? Is it going to dress up as hits to your website? Is it going to dress up as subscribers to your YouTube channel? Is it going to dress up as people just saying, hey, you're wonderful, because you want to, just feel good on video? So what is that end goal? And I was just working with a client right now, and he was like, you know what, we need to get our product out in the market. But right now with videos, we just want people to play a game. That's our end goal. So what we did was, with every video, our call to action was play the game. It wasn't subscribe to the channel. It wasn't, leave a comment. It was like, go and play this game. Like, we want you to play the game, right? So you've just really got to work backwards, reverse engineer what success looks like and how you can possibly get there.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
Gord Eisman has a question. He says, how do you recommend that people best use social media, like in his case, to help build his brand to complement his how-to tutorial uploads on YouTube? For example, how would you use Instagram beyond just promoting your videos with video?
So Gord, great question. And this is something I see a lot with tutorial videos. And so what from my perspective as a customer of tutorial videos, what would happen is, I'd be like, ScreenFlow, I need to know how to add captions in ScreenFlow. I'll go to YouTube, I'll type in how to add captions in ScreenFlow. I'll find my answer through a fantastic video, but I'm not going to sub because it's a one-time thing. And for that particular tutorial, I just want that answer, and then I'm out of there to actually get my work done. So how do you turn those kind of people into subscribers? And I really think that it all comes down to personality at the end of the day. I really think that, if you're going to be making tutorial videos, you've got to inject you into that. So people come to see, oh, you know what? When the search results come up on all of these people who've made a tutorial video on a particular software or piece of tech, they would pick your video over and over again because they just, want to connect with you. They feel like you're bringing that energy, or you have a certain kind of personality that they like to watch. So I think that really becomes the differentiating factor. It puts the you in YouTube, right? So
Right.
it's kind of like everything, because everybody can talk about everything, right? You could go tomorrow and read a book, learn something. I could go read the same book, learn something, and we could make two very different videos. How are they different? Because of your personality and my personality, right? That's the difference. So I think for tutorial videos especially, you want to make sure that you inject something special in there. That's just you.
Absolutely.
Nice. And
for sure.
and I have another question for you in terms of how you instruct people to approach their YouTube channel, because there's a few different schools of thought. There's the schools of thought of like, hey, I'm just going to do this as something fun. There's the school of thought in terms of like, hey, I'm going to build this YouTube channel for the sake of getting exposure and things like that. And then there's the third, which is, and there's more than this too, but just to kind of keep it simple here, the next one is like, okay, I'm going to like build a brand around this whole thing. How do you recommend people go about actually building a brand around their YouTube channel?
Yeah, so that's a big one. And that's like basically all encompassing of how you're thinking. So a couple of things that go into brand building, some basic elements. You have to know your audience. That's where it all starts from. You have to know your strengths. You have to know, what do you bring? And I'm going to give some examples here, but let me just finish all the elements, right? So your audience, your strengths, then you've got to pick your topics that align with how you want to be known. So when people say your brand is what other people say about you, right? So people are, what are people saying about Nick, right? What are people saying about Jason? What are they saying about
I don't
Owen?
even want to know what they're saying about me. I don't even want to see those horrible comments.
Yeah, well, you got to face the music sometime, Nick. So I'm sure it'll be good. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good.
I love the bad comments personally. I think they're great. The ones that are just like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thank you.
Well, I think the one great example that I want to give here, people often think about a brand as something that's very academic, like it's very methodical and very academic, and we need to follow these specific steps and rules and stuff. What I do is more intuitive. So for example, and I think you get this really well because of how you've built your brand. But what happens is, when I first started and I didn't know how to remember my script, and I didn't really know how I could memorize it. I tried using a teleprompter, and then I was like, no, this is not working. It's too robotic. And then I was like, if I just speak extempore, then I would ramble too much. And so I came up with the idea of having my notes on my phone, and then I kept my phone in my hand. And so what happened was, every video, I have my phone in my hand. Obviously, you can't see me looking at my phone because that part's edited out. But I have my phone in my hand for practical reasons, because I wanted to be able to look at my talking points, right? But now, even though I don't really look at the phone anymore, like I know my topic so well, but the phone is always in my hand. And that's become a branding thing. It can be something as simple as that. So when people start to think of, okay, how can we be different? Just look at the stuff you're already doing. What stuff are you doing that is you, like something that not everybody else is doing? Use your faults, your insecurities, your mess ups, your failures, and incorporate them into your
You mean
video.
all that crazy stuff that makes us human beings? You mean all of that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Can you believe it? It's that simple. So when you say doing, it didn't start with a branding thing, right? You weren't like, oh, I'm going to say this and it's going to become my thing, right?
Right.
Your audience was like, hey, why do you do that? Hey, why do you say
Yeah.
that? And they're like, oh, people are noticing. Okay, it's just going to be my thing.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's funny how branding can be, yes, it can be very, very deliberate, but also look at the stuff you're already doing and just make it a thing, make it your thing, own it. And that's what people are going to remember. Hey, she's the gal with the phone in her hand. Hey, he's the guy with who always says doing in his videos, so yeah.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through Facebook last night, watching some lives and watching a certain person's page. I don't remember their name, but they did have that same exact brand with their voice and their intro. Like every video was identical to where when she started, it was like, whoa, that was right on. And it was all live. I mean, it was like, bam, bam, same intro, same everything, which was really cool. Very repetitive, very, memorizing. But I do have a question for you. What is your most beneficial platform that you find working best for you out of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter? Like, what do you find the best profit on, I guess, overall?
So I'm kind of biased because I love social media. When people ask me, where do you live? I'm like, on the internet, duh. But and at the same time, I'm very platform agnostic. So I'm not really like, oh my God, like YouTube is my jam. I'm not even gonna look at any other platform because they all suck. No, I'm like, okay, you know what? My first focus is me, whatever works for me. If Twitter is working, I'll use that. If Instagram is working, I'll use that. If Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn is working, I'm going to use that. So a quick example, right now, I've just jumped on LinkedIn and I've been trying to use the platform for years and it has been painful to try and use LinkedIn. So painful. I would try and then I'd give up. I would try, and this happened multiple times.
I'm going through that right now, by the way.
Yeah, well, I would say.
I think Owen is as well. He brought up a comment about that the other day. I think we all are.
I started seeing all of this conversation happening. Hey, you guys should be using LinkedIn is blowing up right now. It's like, what is happening? Let me go and take another look. So I think this was around February of 2018, this year. I went in and I started to post a little bit more regularly on LinkedIn. I put up a video on LinkedIn. It reached 1,000 views. And I was like,
nice.
This is interesting. All right. Then I started to post up a few more videos and a few more like topics. And I didn't try to be very businessy. I would just be like sharing whatever was going on. So it could be business, it could be not. And then what happened was I just got a client who wanted to be on LinkedIn and make LinkedIn videos. And would you believe we just put his LinkedIn video up yesterday, and within 24 hours, 10,000 views.
Oh, wow.
10,000 views. And I'm like, okay, we have something here.
Yeah.
So when you say what platform is your favorite, my answer is whatever the hell is working.
Very good. Very good.
Wherever the people are, which is pretty much everywhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Manuel asks a question. He says that he just opened a new company that offers professional photos and videos, aerial photography and videos, 360-degree tours and things like that. Marketing strategy using social media for real estate realtors. What could be a good strategy for him to grow his brand using YouTube?
So is it aerial photography for realtors, for real estate?
That's what I'm understanding. It offers professional photos, videos, aerial photography, marketing strategy, and using social media for real estate agents.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I want to scout out a neighborhood or something, whether it's for buying a house or shifting into a particular locality or finding out what's like the nearest, where's the nearest schools, where the nearest groceries are, whatever. So, I mean, that will be something that would be super helpful. So if it's aerial photography, why not combine it with some kind of map, like mapping out an area on your aerial photograph and using it for real estate purposes to sort of have like a more interactive feel. Okay, this is how it looks from the top. And then you can sort of visualize, okay, where all the important stuff is for that, the stuff that realtors need to know. Okay, where are the nearest schools? Where's the nearest banks? Where's the nearest grocery shops. What does the neighborhood look like? So make it like combine it sort of like a map thing with the aerial. And that would be sort of like a unique thing to do. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. And I think that if you are basically using it to, in terms of like a good strategy to grow your brand, think about the type of information that the real estate agents are trying to hunt down and make that kind of information. So whatever it is that they're trying to hunt down, you can be what it is that they discover. And then they can see the services that you offer and the different tips that you offer. If you end up selling courses and things like that down the road, then you can be at that center of information that they're looking for, so that you can end up becoming a resource for your target market. Essentially, that would be what I would try to do.
Yeah. I think aerial photography goes really well with like neighborhood scouting, because you want to kind of get a sense of the neighborhood. You kind of want to get a sense of the city or different neighborhoods in there. And so, so that's something that you could really combine.
Very cool.
Now, I'm getting compliments on the shirt here. This is a Roberto Blake merch, by the way. Wearing the Roberto's always be creating merch here on the show. I'm on this thing right now, Salma, where I am where I'm going around and I'm getting like merch from different creators, and I'm just kind of like wearing it as my stuff, because I'm like a t-shirt kind of guy. I'm not really a collared shirt type of guy. So
right.
when
I start making Be the Media shirts, I'm sending you one.
Yes, please. I'll get it from your merch store, wherever you put it up for sure. But that's my thing right now that I'm on. Like my kick.
Are you comfortable wearing purple?
I love purple. What are you talking about? I love purple. Absolutely love purple.
All right, then. Done. You heard it here on this show.
So for people that are trying to get out there and they're trying to get more exposure to their brand and things like that, do you have any like fundamental things like in all of your or in your mastermind that you do, I'm sure you get the same questions over and over and over again. Like, hey, every single person is asking question A, every single person's asking question B. Like, what are some similar problems that everybody seems to have, and what are some quick tips on things that people can do to overcome those? Because we've talked about the equipment problem. We've talked about actually getting started. What other kind of things do you run into in your mastermind that you can share with the people that are listening and watching this that can help them on their journey?
Well, you'd be surprised, but a really popular question happens to be, how do I stop rambling? How do I know what length to make my video? How long or short should it be? That seems to come up a lot. The second thing that comes up a lot is keyword strategy and tagging. It's like all the time, okay, how do I choose a title? How do I match a title with what I want to talk about versus what the search engine is suggesting that I should talk about? So those are two, I would say recurring themes. And obviously we could have like an entire book written on these topics because they're so vast. But really, keyword strategy, I would say one person who I think you should follow. I'm not going to say that my channel talks a lot about keyword strategy because it's more branding, but I love the tips that Brian Dean from Backlinko offers on keyword strategy. And I really love them because they are not just YouTube specific, but Google and YouTube specific. So I saw a diagram recently by, I think it was Rand Fishkin, which said that the top 3 drivers of where people are searching, the first one is, of course, Google Web. The second one is Google Image Search. And the third one is YouTube. So I would say that if you can sort of marry your keyword strategy to include your titles and tags in all of these 3 areas, okay, how can you rank on Google? How can you rank on Google Image Search? And how can you rank on YouTube? If you can get like the holy trifecta of these 3 rankings happening, then that would be really spectacular for your brand building. So I totally love the strategies that Brian Dean talks about with his SEO and keyword. So the second thing is, how long should it be? And, I've experimented a lot with like 2-minute videos, as well as 20-minute videos, as well as 40-minute videos. And I find that I get different results based on what people are looking for. So some of my interviews are like 40 minutes. My interview with Roberto Blake was 40 minutes on camera and 3 hours off camera. So, so it was like, okay, I was like, at what point do I cut this? So the point is that I'm thinking, okay, if it's interesting to me, if it's my channel, hey, I'm going to call the shots here. So if it's interesting to me, I'm going to put it up, whether it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The other thing that I like to look at when deciding length is analytics. So you want to be able to see in your analytics that when are people dropping off. So if I see that too many 20-minute videos, people are dropping off at like the 10-minute mark, then maybe I want to make like shorter videos and test that out. So those are, I would say, two really, really common questions that I get.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
So when it comes to making YouTube videos or just videos for the internet for your business, I know a lot of business owners approach it in terms of, I need to make commercials for my business online. So every video I need to put out needs to be a promotional video. It needs to be, essentially a commercial for the product service that I'm selling. What are your thoughts on that?
So, I mean, I'm a marketing major. I actually studied advertising, but I'm super allergic to interruption-based marketing. So, I mean, you should ask my kids. If I'm watching a show and there's like an ad, we either mute it or change the channel. Like, that's how bad it is, okay? So I am really allergic to in-your-face interruption and promotion. What I love that you can do with like your videos is you can be informative and entertaining and inspiring, and that will help you sell more than if you are just promotional. So depends on what you're promoting, right? So if you are promoting, I don't know, some kind of camera or like a t-shirt or whatever, you don't really need to say that, hey, this video, this shirt has, this much thread count and these are the sizes available, whatever. You can just say, you know what, I'm planning to always be creating t-shirts right now. And that's kind of my thing right now. And as long as you just drop a link to your products in the description, or you can link in the YouTube cards, then people are just naturally curious. Hey, how did he make that video background? Hey, what's he wearing? Where does he buy his glasses from? Where does he get his equipment from? What's that Star Wars thingy back there? What's that unicorn doing on your show? I mean, people ask these questions like I get this common one, not this purple backdrop, but the one I use in my YouTube videos. How did you make this backdrop, right? Where can we download it from? How can we make it ourselves? That's like a natural, I'm like, okay, that's something I could sell.
Right. Absolutely.
I am actually not selling it yet, but it could be something.
I was going to say, like, are you actually selling your background? Because I would love to do a Salma parody.
Link in the comments.
Just for you, Nick. I'll send it just for you.
Well, Gord Eisman has a really good question for you, Salma. What tools do you use to help you with YouTube SEO?
I'm using all the tubes that I'm sure that Gord already knows about, but let me just recap them. So to find ideas, I like to use Answer the Public, which kind of is not a very scientific keyword tool. It's more of what questions are people asking Google? It aggregates the questions that people are asking Google, because I want to have my pulse on that. What questions are people asking? So Answer the Public. Then I integrate that with Keywords Everywhere. So Keywords Everywhere is a free Chrome plugin. They also have a paid version. But basically what that does is that it gives you a search volume for every question that people are asking Google. So it's like immediately, okay, is this something that I want to make a video on? Like 10,000 people are searching for it every month, and the competition is really low. So yes, that would be an easy yes. Then TubeBuddy, of course, I think that is kind of one of my go-to tools for, and one of the things I love to use TubeBuddy for is promotion. So I use their link tracker. I'll get like a shortened link from TubeBuddy, and I'll put it on all of my social media channels, and then I can track where traffic is coming from. So that's something I actually love using TubeBuddy for. And then
Nice.
I have just started using Morning Fame, like literally 2 days ago. And so I have been like knee deep inside Morning Fame, trying to figure out what those grades mean. And so I've just started using that. And so I guess those would round off the basic tools that I'm using right now. I do use Canva to make my thumbnails, if you want to add that into the mix. And what else do I use? Evernote for all of my scripting. And my storyboarding. I use wave.video to make promo videos and ads and teasers for all of my videos as well. So for example, if I have like a 10-minute YouTube video, what I'll do is I'll use waved out video and I will make that into a square Instagram video. I'll make that into a 9:16 vertical video for Instagram stories. And I'll condense it into 60 seconds so I can put it up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then less than 17 seconds for stories. So there are all these like media and formats that you have to remember if you want to change up all of these formats. And that's what Wave basically helps me do, is switch up all of these formats and dimensions.
Nice. Now that brings me actually, that's a great segue into the next question. I know that you are a very big advocate for repurposing content. What are your tips for business owners that are wanting to repurpose their content so that they don't have to make, new videos for every single platform? Like what is it that you recommend that they do to repurpose their content? Like let's go through the process of repurposing content.
So I think that what happens is that a lot of people think of repurposing as an afterthought. They're like, okay, we've made this video. Now what can we do with it? Right? Whereas I don't even call it repurposing. I call it upcycling, which is borrowed from the ecological industry, which says that how can you take something old and make something new from that? And so the concept of upcycling is it starts at the strategy phase. When you are thinking about making a video and you're like, okay, this is going to be a tutorial for YouTube. Okay, what else do I want to do with this? If I want to be on Instagram, can I maybe add in a blooper that's going to go on Instagram that's going to show my funny side? Can I have like a 60-second tip within that video that I can then put up on Twitter as a short 60-second video, right? So upcycling basically means that for every platform that you are creating content from, you are adding value as a standalone piece of content. So whether somebody goes to your YouTube channel or not to see the entire thing, they still get value on that platform that they are following you on. So if they're only following you on Facebook, for example, or only following you on Twitter, they still see you as somebody who's giving tons and tons of value. And so that's basically the concept. And it starts at the strategy stage, not after you've made the video, but while you are thinking of the video and you're conceptualizing it, what different ways can this video exist in? So I'll give you an example, cooking videos. So very easy way to upcycle and repurpose cooking videos would be a full length tutorial on YouTube. So that could be like a 10, 16, 20 minute, entire recipe, ingredients, all of that. It could be a short social video for Facebook with captions and audio and music, right? And then that same video could be on Instagram as a beautiful picture. It could be on Instagram as a behind the scenes for the chef. Where does he go into, or she, from the prep work. It could be your ingredient shopping on the back end. So while you are prepping the dish and you're thinking about it, you're also filming you going to the grocery store, because you're thinking, okay, this is going to go on Instagram. I want to put this up there. So you're already thinking of all the different platforms and uses of that one video. So I kind of like to think that you are like squeezing every inch of value out of that video. Yeah. You're not letting anything go from that. And that's part of my work smarter, not harder strategy. So instead of making videos every single day, make that one video so amazingly great and then share like little bits and pieces of story from that on every other platform. So you don't start from scratch when you're thinking about promotion, but you can take what you have already and just put it on the platform that it's most suited for.
So how would you, just one question about that, how would you repurpose that cooking video on LinkedIn? All business, no fun. Like, what would you do? Like, do you have any quick tip on that? That's where I'm stuck. I don't do cooking.
So I think a big misconception right now with people is that LinkedIn is just B2B and you can only be like really serious, wear a suit and tie. And if you actually go on the platform and follow a hashtag LinkedIn video, you're going to see people letting their hair down, talking about their kids, talking about their vacations, talking about the struggles and challenges of their business. So much great, storytelling and content is going on there right now. So I would literally take that recipe video and I'd be like, you know what, guys, here are my 3 best recipes for, I don't know.
After work. after work snacks or something, maybe.
I mean, here are my best options for like when you're sitting on your desk and you're having lunch on your desk. What should you have?
That's smart. Yeah.
So you could tie it in. You don't even have to tie it in with the workplace.
I know in my head it's stuck. It's like work. But yeah.
No, I think you have to break out of that. I think social media platforms are changing. They do have their sweet spots. So for example, I would think that Facebook's sweet spot is storytelling. Absolutely, for sure. And Instagram's is, funny stuff works so well. If you got bloopers, behind the scenes, all that stuff works so well on Instagram. And so few people are using Instagram video. Like a lot of people, I mean, everybody puts pictures up, but not as many people put videos up on Instagram. And it's a missed opportunity if you're not doing that. And then LinkedIn is like, just share your authentic self right now, because that's what I'm finding is working.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, authenticity always wins, it seems. At least most of the time, it seems to
So here's a quick tip on authenticity. Like I'm just gonna add to that. So oftentimes when you're filming a video, you're like all like, okay, I need to get this message out, and you're like all serious and everything. And then, once you stop with your message, that's when you kind of relax, take a deep breath. So keep filming that and talking as though you are done with your video. And that's the part that you want to include in various social media, because that's when you actually stop trying to put on like your best persona and actually just be yourself.
Fantastic tip. I might start using that one also. So that's a great one. Then you get to hear all the profane languge that comes out of my mouth when I'm done with the video.
Buzz, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, then you can have a second channel, like, PG.
Just for that. So Salma, for anybody that that's been listening to this or that's watching this on Facebook, they want to find out more about you. They want to get in touch with you. They want to find out about your video training academy that you have. How can people find out more about you and get in contact with you?
Awesome. So my flagship program is Be the Media. So you can go to bethemedia.salmajafri.com and get on the waiting list to find out when it opens again. So that's bethemedia.salmajafri.com. The other place obviously is YouTube. So it's youtube.com/SalmaJafri76. Don't ask why the number just is there. And I'm Salma Jafri everywhere. So on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, I'm Salma Jafri. So you can follow me.
And in the real world. We'll go ahead and add that one in there. We'll add that one in there as well. So you can find her in the real world as
You
Salma
forgot,
Jafri
I don't live in the real world. I'm just an internet.
Right, you're on the internet. I forgot. So Salma, you're also going to be speaking. I know you do a lot of speaking just in general, but you're going to be at Video Marketing World coming up here in August. Am I correct?
You are correct. I am so pumped about that one because I'm going to get to meet so many amazing people, including you guys. And I think I'm not even thinking of it as a conference. I'm thinking of it as a party right now. I'm like, yay! All these video creators are going to have so much fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking right along the same lines. I'm going to VidCon next month, which is going to be great. I'm going to that one in August, and then going to Vid Summit in October. And in my brain, it's the same exact thing. It's like, woo, yeah. Good times. All right, Salma. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us. Jason, if people want to find out more about you, Jason, where can they find you?
Doingitwithjason.com. It'll bring you wherever, all over the place.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Salma. Thank you, Jason, for coming on. Everybody that's been listening and hanging out for the show, thank you so much. And remember to sign up to get alerts when we go live, plus get show notes and the links at thebusinessofvideopodcast.com. Until next time, keep marketing. It's your only hope.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There's no music.